I'm going to go over the Baltimore Ravens offensive playbook today. The first play is PA boot LT. This is a really good cover three beater, but it also works really well against man defense. And I'll show you how to run it on cover three first. All you got to do is put X on a post route. So you're going to have two post routes here. And to get the bomb, you're going to need a lot of time. So you got to kind of maneuver your way through the pocket. Let me show you real quick how that works. It's kind of here. And right as they cross, it kind of makes that safety dumb out a little bit. And there's a touchdown. The longer you wait, the more likely it is that they're going to be open. It's just one adjustment. There it is. So you just need an extra half second than you usually get. And even if they're blitzing, let's just say they're blitzing here, you can put your fullback there. You can block him. Usually you don't need that extra blocker. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it just works really well for big plays against cover three. I'll show you against man here real quick. And you can throw it to either post route when they're blitzing. Against cover three, the wide side receiver, that post route works a little bit better. I'll just show you here real quick. They're blitzing. Then B gets wide open. So against man, the B side usually gets open a little better. And against cover three zone, usually that wide side receiver gets open. All right, the other formation I like is going to be gun heavy Raven. And in particular, this mesh sit play works really well. And with this play, you can run that wheel route. There's that corner route, and you can even make that corner route a little better with audibles, and I'll show you that. And you can also scramble from that mesh sit route. Go over how that works here real quick. I generally like to put the two outside guys in a flat, and the inside tight end on a streak there. And this corner route here on the left-hand side, that gets open pretty well. But if it doesn't get open, you can put them on a little bit sharper of a corner route, and that should help also. Then you also have this wheel route from the running back, and you can get that for a short yard completion, or you can get them up the seam. All right, and to hit them up the seam, you need a little extra time, but you can see right there. He gets wide open for big yards right up the sideline, not the seam. Yeah, when they break, and that guy, he breaks to the short guy. Then the wheel route gets open. If that outside guy starts covering the wheel route, you can drop it off to B right there also. That gets open a lot once they start getting burned by that wheel route. If you need some extra time, if they're blitzing a lot, you can put that inside tight end into block, and then put that outside tight end on a streak, and then focus on the left side there and hit that corner route. If they're blitzing and you're having trouble getting any time, this kind of helps that. And then Y gets wide open there. Another thing you can do, if you guys aren't getting open, it's a really good play for scrambling out of the pocket. And then that outside guy will throw you a little block, and you can scramble if you have a good scrambling quarterback. Otherwise, out of this formation, where is it? QB Blast is pretty good for just short yards, though. You're not going to get a ton of yards on it, but if you just need a yard or two, See where you have a little gap. And then you just kind of follow your lineman there. Yeah, if you want to try and bounce it out a little bit, you can get a few more yards. But generally, you want to use that just for short yard situations. Next formation I like is split wing nasty. This is really good for short yardage plays, and it has some good motion plays also, like this PAY cross. That motion slide's pretty good. But for the most part, I'm going with this play motion power O, and this is really good for short yardage situations also. You can just run it to the left side here. You get a little motion. And it's good for follow your big fat guys there. It's good for, 2-3 yards. Nothing crazy. Occasionally you can break one. But for me, I use it for short yards. But one thing you can do with this play that's kind of neat is you can have Henry here pitch it back to Jackson. And I'll show you how that works. Hand it off. Pitch it back. And a lot of times he can break it to the outside and get some big yards. It works a little better against man defense because it just kind of pulls the guy all the way over. And then you get to do something like that. So works a little better against man, but you can run it against a lot of things. The only thing is they can kind of adapt to it and start usering the guy on the back end and really mess things up. So you want to use this play sparingly. Blocker there. A lot of times you can break this for a really big gain. Just kind of a neat little gimmick play I like to use every so often. The next formation gonna be you off trips. So this formation is really good for run plays with if you have a good mobile quarterback like Lamar Jackson. It's got some good jet sweeps, and then this motion PA jet sweep's actually decent. Has good post route and a good wheel route that gets open a lot too. But the really good plays for this, that jet cross is good too. So motion QB power and motion QB counter. I'll just do a cover 2 man just to kind of show what the motion does to the play. So with power, you're going to the side of the motion, and you got all these blockers here. And you can break it for some big yards. And again, just got to kind of follow your blockers, and then you sprint once you get an opening. Once you get some open field, hit the sprint button, but wait to hit your sprint button so that the blocks will hold. So the counter goes the opposite direction of the motion, so a lot of those guys in man, they'll get washed out of the play when they follow him, and then you can get some big yards on the other side. And then one last thing, we'll go back to pistol. I'll show you some of these plays. You've got triple option, which doesn't work as good as last year, but it still works pretty well. Works okay, but you don't get those big yard run plays like you used to. I like to put the guy in motion just to see, if he's in man defense, I'll take a guy out of the play. If he's in zone, you just move him back. One thing I forgot to do, you want to switch your packages to either dual halfback flip or dual halfback. And that'll put 2 halfbacks, because there's 2 different run plays. You hand it off to 2 different guys here. And left side, you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys there. Go in motion. You have an extra blocker, and then now you just have 3. Just hit A, and just try to find the hole. It doesn't work as good as last year, but it still works pretty well. Let's flip it to the wide side real quick. And then with the option, press and hold A, and then flip it right before they hit you. You can get some pretty good yards. Press and hold A. He crashes down. You want to hold it until the last minute and pitch it at the last minute, and it just kind of depends on which guy they go after. You see R there, that's the read guy. P, that's going to be the pitch guy. Read guy, good. So he's going after the pitch, and then you just run it. If they're going after the pitch guy, you run it. If they go after the quarterback, you toss it. It's pretty simple. Oh, he's going after the pitch. You can even pitch it late, like really late when you're getting tackled, and still get the ball out pretty safely. You know, you've got triple option switch. It works pretty similar, except for you have your halfback is going to be running straight up the middle, and then you can pitch it to your other halfback. So it kind of switches it up a little bit. Then you have power option. This one's really good. Show you power option. Cool thing about power option is you can flip it. You can see by default it goes to the right, but you can just hit left on the stick, and then it flips it to the other side. The only downside is your blocking halfback gets over there a little bit late sometimes. I'll show you how it works. If they're overloading to that side, you just flip it. Then you run to the right here. All right, there we go. That's a good one. And then you can also use motion. Let's say this defensive end is getting in on yellow quick. Let's do something like that, and he'll just kind of bump him. Flip it. You can use motion to take care of that defensive end if he's just crashing in too fast. I didn't get the toss out. But you see kind of how it works. You use motion to kind of get a little more of an advantage in some of these plays. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. So far, this is my favorite playbook